Hi, everybody. Welcome back to this week's episode of the Jimmy Dore Show. We're taking a look at the hard right's view of the election, the bubble they lived in before the election, and how they're dealing with the aftermath. I'm joined by Johnny Bongiorno. How are you, John?
Doing good so far.
You look good.
Thanks.
And right now, thanks for dressing up for the show.
This is my election shirt.
That is your. Oh, okay, it's your election.
Yeah,
I got it.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
I'm showing party pride.
It's nice, and he keeps. It's nice. You keep that handy in your glove box, or just stuff just like this. All right. So I was watching Fox News Sunday with Chris Wallace, right? He's the bad Wallace, and. And so here's what he had to say interviewing this week's panel.
While Republicans look to regroup.
When he says regroup, what he means is we have to find a way to appeal to Hispanics, which we lost by 71% to Barack Obama, right? Mm-hmm. So he's trying, how do we appeal to Hispanics, right? So he's got a panel to help him, and here's their panel.
We'll ask our Sunday panel about what both sides need to do moving forward.
Oh, okay, so we got 4 white guys. Isn't that nice? Who better to know? So we got Bill Kristol, white, Evan Byh, super white, Laura Ingraham, who was called Dad White, and then Kristen Powers, who's she's whiter than white, right? And they're going to let us know so that's the kind of insight you get over at Fox News. And they were talking about how this election is going to change things, right? So here's Senator Bob Corker. They're talking about the fiscal cliff. Now that Barack Obama won this mandate over 100 electrical votes, that's right. Sometimes I like to say electrical volts. He won by over. So here's what Bob Corker says going forward. What they need. Here's what the Democrats and the Republicans need to do to fix the fiscal cliff.
Look, I haven't met a wealthy Republican or Democrat in Tennessee that's not willing to contribute more as long as they know we've solved the problem. So the ying of revenue, we understand, and I think there's a very good pro-growth way of putting that in place so you're actually getting revenues from people like me and other folks that make above X dollars. But what you have to have tied to that is true entitlement reform.
Yeah, so what Bob Corker's saying is that millionaires and billionaires are willing to pay an imperceptible 2% difference in their marginal tax rate if we're able to really screw the most vulnerable in society. Only then, if you make sure we're going to balance the budget on the backs of the working class and the elderly and the sick, then I'll pay 39% tax. That's what he's saying, right?
Well, I love that right after the election, this is when they're feeling most willing to compromise. And I love seeing what they're willing to compromise on. So you saw Hannity talking about how we need to have comprehensive immigration reform.
Yes.
So as much as they hate Hispanics,
yes,
we're willing to be okay with them if we get our tax cuts.
Yeah, we'll give up a little bit.
Well, they'll do a little bit there. That's him saying that.
Yes. Well, we're going to get to it. Bill Kristol actually addresses that. But let's see. Here's Evan Byh, who's a Democrat. But he's a Democrat from Indiana. Yeah. Right, so it's a different kind of Democrat. And here's what he has to say it's going to happen dealing with the fiscal cliff going forward.
The president will be thinking about his legacy, wanting to actually get things done, not just stake out positions. The Republicans need to worry about their brand and the fact they lost moderate voters by 56%. So all that suggests to me, if the president says something like, starting particularly in the fiscal cliff, look, I'm willing to have 2 or 3 to 1 spending reductions versus tax increases, and I'm willing to have a pro-growth tax reform package, you can really get something done there.
So Evan Byh is saying that if we just cut taxes for the wealthy and then we cut entitlements, we can actually get something done and move forward. Yeah. So because Barack Obama won the election, we have to implement a Republican plan. Isn't that what he's saying? Yes, see, since Obama won, we have to do what the Republicans have been asking us to do. Mm-hmm. They're just willing to do it now.
Yeah.
Isn't that what he's saying?
I think it's nice of them.
Here's Bill Kristol.
The movement has to pull back. Let people float new ideas. Let's have a serious debate. Don't scream and yell when one person says, you know what, it won't kill the country if we raise taxes a little bit on millionaires. I really won't, I don't think. I don't really understand why Republicans don't take Obama's offer to freeze taxes for everyone below 250,000, make it 500, make it $1 million. Really, the Republican Party is going to fall on its sword to defend a bunch of millionaires, half of whom voted Democratic and half of whom live in Hollywood and they're not and are hostile to Republican
principles? Let me ask you about the Tea.
Wow, first of all, we're never going to see Bill Kristol on Fox again, I'll tell you that. He's advocating for, and if you think raising taxes on the wealthy is going to be painful. Wait till we have to give in to the Mexicans. And you know what I say about Bill Kristol?
He used to be a dick, but he's not a dick anymore.